Jones. I'm a student rep and I'm your host. Hiya Monica, welcome to Talking Points. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you, and thanks very much for having me here. It's a pleasure.
Welcome. Can you tell me a little bit about your role in the university?
Right, okay, my role in the university is very grand. I'm a professor of planetary and space sciences in the STEM faculty.
Oh, I like that title.
It's
a good one.
It's a cool title.
It is, yes.
What I do is I do research and I do teaching, and that takes up Monday, and then for Tuesday to Friday I do admin. I'm lying. No.
I half believed you then.
Actually, I've cut down my hours and I only work for the OU 3 days a week now.
Okay.
So I'm not doing so much teaching and I'm doing research, more research than teaching at the moment.
Oh, fantastic. Can you tell me a little bit about your background and how you came to the university and how long you've been here as well?
Right, well, I've been here twice.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Right.
I did my PhD in chemistry of meteorites in 1983.
Okay.
And then at the end of 1983, my boss then, who was Colin Pillinger, a lot of the students might remember Colin from Beagle 2, he moved his group from Cambridge to the Open University in 1983, and he asked me if I would come with him and Ian Wright if he would come with him to help re-establish his group.
Okay.
And Ian Wright and me were a couple, and we've now been married for more than 30, nearly 40 years. So I came to the OU the first time in 1983 as a technician.
How long did you stay that time?
I stayed until 1991.
Right.
So I got promoted from technician to project officer,
Yeah.
and it was in the Department of Earth Sciences,
Yeah.
as it was then. And I left to go and work at the Natural History Museum for 14 years in London, curating the meteorite collection there.
Wow.
Which was
That's very, very cool.
That was a dream
Yeah,
job.
I
It was a
can
dream
imagine, yeah.
job apart from the commuting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then in 2004, they advertised a professorship here. And Ian, my husband, who by this time was a professor anyway here, he said, "Are you going to apply?" I'm like, "No, I'm not going to apply." "Are you sure you're not going to apply?" "No, I'm not going to apply." He said, "Because, I'm on the selection committee and this, that and the other,
Yeah.
but if you apply, then I can not, I'll
Yeah.
not do it." And I said, "No, I'm not going to apply." And so he went off, and I phoned the secretary and said, "Can you take a message to Ian in this meeting? I've decided I'm going to apply." So I applied and I got the job. So I left as a technician. I came back as a professor in 2005.
That's really exciting.
Yeah.
So you've been here quite a while then.
Yeah, so I've now been here for 14 years,
Yeah.
which is the same length of time as I spent at the Natural History Museum. So
Fantastic.
is it time to move on again?
No.
Well, you never leave the OU anyway.
No. Can you tell me a little bit about where you studied initially?
I studied, first of all, at the University of Durham, up in the north.
Beautiful
Gorgeous.
university, yeah.
I was
Yeah,
an
it's lovely.
Aidan's maiden. I was at St Aidan's College when
lovely.
it was all women. And then, of course, when I then went to Cambridge to do my PhD.
Yeah.
But then when I came here in 1983, we still had residential schools, and they used to do S236 up in Durham.
Oh,
So I used to go
lovely.
to Durham, go and look at the Shap granite, go and look at the ammonites at Whitby and all this sort of thing.
Lovely.
It was gorgeous.
Oh, that
really
sounds
gorgeous.
fantastic.
Yeah.
So I believe you're studying again now.
I am.
Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Well, I've decided to go to university again, and I'm at the Open University this time.
Fantastic.
Yay. I've registered for a degree in maths and statistics.
Ooh.
And I've just registered for my final 30 points at level 2.
Oh.
So I've got one more 30 pointer at level 2, and then I'm ready to go on to level 3.
Are you excited about this module?
I'm really looking forward to this module. It's something that I've wanted to do for ages. This particular module, because when I looked about this particular type of statistics, which is called Bayesian statistics, of which I know nothing, but I hope by this time next year I'll know everything. Or at least I'll know enough
Yeah.
to help my research, because some of the research I'm doing is about bringing samples back from Mars.
That's so exciting.
I
isn't
know
it?
it's going.
Yeah.
sad thing though is that they're probably not going to be coming back until about 2032.
Okay.
And when I say that, I don't mean just after 8:30. I mean 2032. So not for another 13 years, at which time I will definitely be well retired. But and until then, I'm working with teams from the European Space Agency and NASA. And one of the things we've got to decide is the sample tubes that come back, which are going to be about the size of my finger, so they're going to be that long and a centimetre in diameter. How much of that sample do we have to take to decide whether the whole of the sample hasn't got any life in it? And it's like, apparently that takes Bayesian statistics. And so it's like, and I've known this for several years, which is why I signed up to do the degree in maths and stats.
That's really
got
interesting.
here.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah. So when you finish this level 2 module, do you think you'll carry on with maths and stats, or?
I don't know. I've looked at the level 3 maths and stats modules, and they look vaguely terrifying.
So do you think there's a possibility of maybe converting to an open degree?
I'm seriously considering that, actually, because it's one of the things that, well, there's so much to study.
Yes.
I mean, it's like there are so many exciting and interesting things in life. You know, it's like, I like listening to music, but I can't take a piece of music to pieces to understand how it's built and things like that, but it would be great to know.
Yeah.
And I remember when my son, when he was at school and studying, he was doing art A-level, and he was doing this thing. He had to draw his hand, and then he had to pull the fingers apart and draw them as tubes, and then reassemble them. And this was to explain how, like, Cubism came about, and it was like really interesting. And so you think, well, actually, perhaps I've never studied the arts, not since I did O-level geography, and they were O-levels, not anything else in those days. And it's like, well, maybe I should think about doing something different. And the really, really brilliant thing about the OU is I can.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
It's really great.
It is a really great thing, and although I'm studying primary education, I know that I could change if I wanted to. And I could just. I've done my 2 level 2s now, and I'm just about to do my 2 level 3s. Yeah, I know. But I could have changed and gone and done something else. I could have looked at maybe youth studies rather than primary education, or I could have done what you're thinking possibly of doing and doing some arts type stuff. But I know that at some point I'm going to come back and do more, and I'm probably going to do some STEM. Because I quite like that. So talking about STEM, you mentioned that you worked at the Natural History Museum. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Oh, that was brilliant fun. I really enjoyed it. I mean, for people who've been to the Natural History Museum, you know what it looks like. It's that really grand building on Cromwell Road. Beautiful building.
Absolutely stunning.
And you if you look at the front entrance with the big, it's got 2 big column things.
The most beautiful
and
building,
then there's big facades on either side. Well, my office was sort of just tucked underneath the stairs, and so I'd come up the big stairs in the morning, come into the grand entrance hall, really fantastic, and then go down this dark winding staircase, which looked as if it'd never been swept into the mineralogy basement corridor. And it sounds, mineralogy basement sounded terrible, but actually, because of the way the building was built, I had huge windows which looked out onto Cromwell Road, really lovely. And so at the bottom of the stairs there was this big sort of square, which was almost the same size as the hall above, where the 2 corridors from the big facades met, and then there was the one going off to the back to all the other things. And in this big hall bit there were 3 giraffes, stuffed giraffes, all carefully, draped and packed. But it's like, no, we didn't need them on display, and there was nowhere else to put them. So it's like, so this place was known as Giraffe Corner.
Fantastic.
So it's just like, it was great, So I'd come down this stairway and say morning to the giraffe family, and then go off down to the mineralogy basement, where I worked with the meteorite collection.
That's very exciting.
Yeah, great. I loved it. I'd go into the area where the meteorites were, and it was a big metal one, and I'd stroke it every morning.
think I would too, to be fair.
These are the ones we kept for display, not the ones that we had for research. And it was great because when I went there, my boss at the time, Bob, who's sadly deceased now, but he said, well, what do you want to do research on? And I was like, you mean I could do anything? And he said, yeah, choose. What would you like to do research on? And it was just brilliant.
That's amazing.
You know, it was just really great because it's the most fantastic collection of materials, and it's just really good.
So is that fed into your wanting to do the research with the Mars stuff?
Yes, I mean, I'd been doing research on Mars before I left. So I did a little bit about Mars when I first came to the OU, and it's got more and more important through my academic life. And the museum had some brilliant Mars rocks, which was really good. And then as I got more senior and Bob retired, I was then allowed to start saying, well, actually, I can make recommendations as to what the collection you should buy, the museum would buy. And it's quite interesting. You could see that when Bob was alive, his particular branch was these meteorites, and so the collection grew with those. When I was in charge, I was more interested in the Martian ones, and so our collection. And then Sarah was in charge, and she was more interested in, you know, these over here. So you can see as different people's, and you know, it's great. And then you also, if something comes on the market unexpectedly, which isn't in, you know, your research interests or mine or theirs, you'd still acquire it for the national collection, for the country, really, which is great, really great.
Yeah, I literally cannot wait to take my kids. We've managed to get to the Science Museum, and I've managed to do the V&A without them. Which was actually probably a good plan.
Better.
Yeah, but our plan is to next holidays to go down to the site of the Natural History Museum.
Well, of course, you know, the dinosaur isn't there anymore. Dippy's gone, but there's an amazing whale skeleton.
Yes,
absolutely.
Can't wait to see that. I've been fascinated by whales, so I'm really excited to see that. Love dinosaurs too. But I'm really excited.
Well, you see, the dinosaur was a cast; it wasn't real dinosaur, but the whale's real.
I'm very excited about that. That's really cool. So, do you often tell people and encourage people to get involved in science? Is that kind of something that you do just to kind of
stop me, try and stop me?
I did wonder.
I mean, it's. Well, I love talking about science, and so you know,
that's really good.
Somebody says, "Well, what do you do?" And it's like, you know, an hour later, they're sort of looking at them and saying, "Well, it's been nice listening to you, Monica." But yeah, I do, especially young women.
Yes.
And I get invited to give a lot of talks to astronomy societies and geology societies and so on. And actually, I'm cutting down on those because I would much rather be invited to a school and go and talk in a school rather than to people who are already involved and interested in the subject. I'd much rather go and talk to people who don't know.
I'd love you to come and talk to my school. The kids would love it. I mean, we actually, where my kids' school is, it's amazing because it's right by where Airbus is in Filton in Bristol.
Oh, wow.
And so we have access to quite a lot of sciencey stuff. And there's the brand new aircraft museum there, so there's Concorde and all that kind of stuff. But they're very big into encouraging girls into STEM subjects, but it's more the engineering side, so it's really good to get kind of sciences and stuff.
It's really important that scientists and engineers work together, because they've got
absolutely.
very different mindsets.
They really do.
Very well, you could say complementary. Well, I mean, it's one of those things that scientists say, hey, you know, I've had this really great idea, I want to do this, this, this and this, and the engineer says, no, I can't do that. It's too dangerous, or it won't work, or this, that and the other. But then they come back to you and say, I've been thinking about it, and you can do it this way.
It's really good, isn't it?
And it's really great. And the two sort of communities will feed off each other, and it is really, really good. And so that's one of the things that I enjoy doing. But it's been quite funny, because last week we got all the A-level results and stuff like that, and there was lots of things on the news like, for the first time there's more women more girls going to university to do STEM and stuff like that now, which is fantastic, but it turns out it's mainly in the life sciences and stuff like that, so we still need more women going in the physical sciences, into engineering and maths and stuff like that. But one of my colleagues, who is, well, I'll be generous and say middle-aged, but you know, possibly almost old, white, bearded, all right, and he said to me, "Is it time, Monica, that we now have white, bearded, middle-aged men going on television and doing all these things, getting boys to go and do STEM subjects?" And I said, well, there's a place for it, absolutely, definitely, but
I think I agree. I think we really do need more women in STEM, definitely, and that's something that I try and encourage. I mean, my kids are very into it because my husband's an engineer. Right. My dad was a biology teacher, so they've had a lot of science around them, and it's been really good. They were kind of, we want to be engineers. Actually, literally just changed their minds. They both want to play cricket for England. So they've just changed their minds with that. So.
England perhaps could do with them.
Yeah, I think so. Well, seeing the way my little one bowls, definitely. That you previously appeared on Desert Island Discs.
I did, yes.
Can you tell me a little bit about that?
It was really good fun, actually. They rang me up out of the blue and said, well, we wondered if you'd be interested. Oh, yes. When can I come on? And it was really great. And so a researcher came to talk to me at the OU, and we talked for a couple of hours. And before she came, she said, have a think about what you want. I've already got my list. You know, everybody's already got their list.
Yes.
And so we talked and stuff like that, and we got the list together. And then I went down to BBC and filmed it with Kirsty, who was absolutely gorgeous.
Lovely.
I mean, her complexion's beautiful. And most people say, I hear you're on Desert Island Discs. What's Kirsty like? I mean, I like Lauren Laverne as well. I think she's got a lovely voice too.
Yes.
But it was just really great, and we started off with "Bat Out of Hell" by Meatloaf.
Excellent, good choice.
Good choice. And I would like to have had all 8 of my tracks being Meatloaf, but they said that would probably lose quite a lot of listeners.
Yeah, probably.
So I had a real variety of stuff, and I can never remember its name. The opening 4 chords of the OU Symphony.
Oh yes,
know, and I'm not going to attempt to sing it because my singing voice is dreadful. But so I had that, and Meatloaf, and I had some Gilbert and Sullivan.
Oh, fantastic!
The Pirates, because Dad used to sing that in the car.
Oh, lovely.
Just a whole load of just things from different parts of my life. I had our song Vienna by Ultravox, which was number 2 in the charts when Ian and I first got together.
Oh, okay.
It didn't get to number 1 because "Shut Up or Your Face" by Joe Dolce kept happening.
Particularly moving on to that one.
We thought we can't have that as our song.
No, not really.
So it just went on like that. It was just fantastic. Really great.
That sounds a really great experience. It sounds like you really enjoyed it.
I did,
That's fantastic. Okay, so Monica, our biscuit dunking challenge. Are you ready?
Well, I'm ready, but I'm not really very happy about it.
Well, before you get onto that, let me just show you our board. We even have a board. So, we had Nick previously.
Oh, and he did a ginger nut.
He did, and he got 34.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what the idea is, you can pick a biscuit, any biscuit, there's a cup of tea there, and dip as many times in as you can before it disintegrates, and I'll count up.
Well,
what's your complaint?
Well, where would you like me to start?
Well,
first of all, what's the temperature of the tea? Is it the same as Nick's? Should I use a ginger nut as well as Nick did? Or should I try something different?
I'd try something different.
How deeply did he dunk? For how long was each dunk? The constraints of this challenge are so poorly designed. I mean,
and eat the biscuit before it gets dunked. I like the idea. Yeah. So basically, it's not a scientific challenge, just guesswork.
Yeah, but did you know that there was an Ig Nobel Prize awarded for people dunking rich tea fingers?
Really? Mm-hmm. That's really interesting.
This is many years ago, but have you heard of the Ig Nobel Prizes?
Yeah.
They're for odd things which might have a use.
Yeah.
And it was I can't remember where the team was. They were Sheffield or Bradford or somewhere like that. And they took rich tea fingers and they were dunking them. And they were dunking them at the same temperature for the same length of time to the same distance. So they could see how long it took for each one to expand and crumble.
Ooh.
I've no idea. Are we ready?
We're nearly ready. So, Monica, are you ready?
Yeah.
You have chosen the Bourbon biscuit.
The bourbon.
The bourbon.
The bourbon.
So, do you think you're going to beat 34?
1,
2,
2,
3, 4, 5. $28, $29, $30, $31, $32. Oh, 32. That was so close. 32. That's so close. Right, let's write you up on here. So, Monica, you did the Bourbon biscuit.
Yeah, but you see, with a ginger biscuit, you know, it isn't necessarily
32.
going to be 32. 1, 2, 3.
So
4,
our scientist is just ruining our challenge.
5. And you know, you might want to tap it on the. Oh, look,
Oh, there
6.
we go. You know, brilliant. Monica, thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much. And
My pleasure.
You for completely destroying our challenge, but that's fine.
No problem.
Oh, it's been brilliant. Thank you so
Thanks
much.
a lot. Okay.
And thank you everybody for watching, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching Talking Point. Talking Point is produced by the Open University Students Association. Their mission is to be the community and voice for all Open University students. Check out their site at oustudents.com to find out what they can do for you. That's oustudents.com.